Mercedes in her ITM says that the last few days haven't been fun, but you know what is fun?
Ecstasy.
Raves.
Oh, sorry.
Dear Shandy. Welcome back to another Dear Shandy Bachelor in Paradise recap, listeners. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
How are you today?
Okay.
Doing okay.
Yeah.
We have any housekeeping before we get to this grand finale?
My mojo was sheared off my head.
Oh, Andy got a haircut, and it's not the same as his amazing haircut he got in Seattle.
Yeah, I actually called my guy in Seattle and asked for a recommendation on the East Coast, someone who could cut hair like him.
Oh, after you got the bad haircut.
Yeah.
Oh, that's late.
I do things that way.
Yeah.
I'm not good at stuff.
Yeah, you're like trying to. Oh my God, you're trying to press like undo on a keyboard.
I'm a what would have been if I had person.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah. So anyway, he was very flattered, and he gave me a few recommendations. And next time I'm going to go to those people.
You know, I agree it's not the best, but I just don't think it's that bad.
Took too much off the sides. Maybe look like a pinhead.
A pinhead.
I don't like looking like a pinhead.
Yeah, the thing about haircuts, you know what they say, grows back. You know.
Yeah, but then you have to wait.
I have to admit, if my hair were that short, I would be really upset if I didn't have a great haircut.
Wait, why are you rubbing it in?
Oh, no, I'm just saying, like, I tend to be like, whatever, not the best haircut, but it's like my hair's long, so most people
I have nowhere
can't
to
tell.
hide.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's just this.
Okay. All right. So you're not in a great mood because of your hair.
Yeah.
But do we have any other housekeeping before we get going?
Oh, happy Hanukkah to all of our Jandies.
Yes. Happy Hanukkah. All right. Shall we get going? Recapping this incredibly long Bachelor in Paradise finale.
Yes.
Okay. No time like the present. So the opening credits this time include the whole group coming up from behind the bar, looking around, looking faux confused, and then retreating back down. And Andy, you said this is boring.
It's just, I don't understand why. Was that funny?
In a way, I think that's like a microcosm for the whole season.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's there just to be seen, and they're looking kind of like confused, and then they just sort of disappear, and most of it was for nothing.
Do you think they did that on purpose to symbolize the season?
Okay, we open with Jess and Mercedes forcing themselves to have fun. Sounds like a good time, right? Sounds like paradise.
Yeah.
While making sandcastles, Jess says it was weird putting on a bathing suit that day and not having Blake there to impress.
She's really hung up on this impressing Blake with her bathing suit.
It does seem to come up a lot.
Yeah.
The whole, like, I didn't have you to dress for thing.
I think it's becoming an issue, maybe. Something she should unpack.
I kind of agree. I just sort of wish it was a little more for herself, but, you know, I don't want to dig too deep there, but I do feel like it's just come up a lot. And maybe that's editing. I don't know.
Yeah.
They end up jumping on their sandcastle, and Andy, you were disappointed with their sandcastle effort.
It was very lazy.
It was not really a sandcastle. It was more, I think a sandcastle is like larger than the pail. The one pail.
Well, they were just putting pails of sand like around. Like it wasn't, there was no thought. There was no architecture. There were no tunnels. No. Everyone wants a tunnel. You want to see when the waves come in, the water goes in and it spreads around.
The moat.
The
you
moat.
Need a moat.
Yeah.
Good. That was a callback to an ad.
Should we link out the ad?
Well,
it's like not only do you have to listen to our ads, but you have to listen to meta ads of our ads.
I mean, all I'm saying is if you're skipping our ads, you are missing some references.
Yeah, you're missing out.
Meanwhile, over a green drink, John Henry tells Aaron B that his relationship with Kat is going super well, which prompts a date card for Kat and John Henry. I have to point out how there was no shot of Olivia looking annoyed.
No.
In fact, she looked
patched up.
Yeah, she looked very happy for them, in fact.
Yeah, all that drama.
Why
really,
do they think
a whole bunch of nothing.
Why do they think that we're not interested in seeing that?
I don't know. That's what they do. This season was all about giving us way more than we wanted and way less than we needed.
Yes. Yes. I feel like Golden Bachelor maybe will serve as education for them as to what we want. The drama is not satisfying without any kind of patching up or like without any context.
Yeah.
Like later on, we see a friendly moment, in fact, between Kat and Olivia. And it's like, okay, great. I don't know what's going on ever. Like 80% of the time with this season.
Yeah.
Seriously, socially, like with social dynamics.
It's like this season almost has the memory of a squirrel. It's just it's like, oh, that happened. No, now we're looking at this. Yeah. And then we're looking at that. And now we're here. And now we're there.
I gotta say.
And then we're up a tree. And now we're chasing another squirrel. Now we're running away from a dog.
Like, where's the storyline? Where's the arc? Where's the connective tissue that makes that make sense?
put it this way: if you had never heard of this franchise before, and you just sat down and watched this show and then watched Golden Bachelor, you would think they were two completely different
100%
networks, different teams, different countries, everything different.
Yes. Different cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Kat and John Henry go on this date. They go paddleboarding, and as he sort of grabs her to fall into the water, Andy, you said, wow, that's good black boxing.
Was it not?
It was incredible.
It was the first time, maybe the first time in history, that a black box has gone from air to water.
Do you think that they brought back
I think
Blambo?
This had to be Blambo.
Yeah, this is the work of Blambo. This was so advanced.
Yeah, it went from air to water to underwater.
And then they brought back Blambo again for that French bulldog later.
Who must have had a giant dong.
I think that they were like...
Or was it the balls? It was the balls.
It was
a
the
joke,
balls.
obviously.
I gotta say, sometimes you'll see a dog with balls and you're just like...
It's obscene.
It is obscene.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much balls. Like it's emasculating for us.
And they're even more ball-like than I think human balls.
I don't know if that's possible, but I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like they look more cartoonishly ball-like. Like when you think of balls, like
if you drew balls in like a bathroom stall, like as a joke, it would look like those balls.
100%.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I think there are certain animals, certain dogs particularly, that have balls that are way too big for their bodies. I don't understand what the point is other than to show other female dogs, like, look how big my balls are. It's like if a human had balls that size, it would be the size of like his head.
Kat and John Henry sit on the beach and chat. He asks if she wants to know his favorite thing about her. And he says it's that she's so caring and supportive of her friends on the beach, but she's got this tough shell. And she's touched that he has noticed this. And she says now that she had a really difficult childhood. We've had this alluded to on her Bachelor season, I believe, but she gives a little more detail here. It turns out there's only one married couple remaining in her huge family. Her dad had 4 wives and she moved out at 17, lived in a group home, and she's had a lot of shame around that, and it is something some of her friends don't even know about her. And he says, meanwhile, he's dealt with depression. It comes and goes, and this is the first time he's bringing it up to anyone. So this is a really...
So this is a conversation.
Yes, a real getting to know you conversation. This felt like this gave me something that I've been looking for all season, which was substance.
Yeah.
Go figure.
No, absolutely. And, I'll tell you something about Kat. Like, everyone was shitting on Kat. Everyone's calling her bad names. And I get it.
Yeah.
She behaved poorly, certainly poorly.
Yeah.
But this kind of gives her a little bit of a pass. Like, she had a rough go. And a lot of people in that situation would have turned out a lot worse than Kat. I think that it also is a lesson that, like, yes, there are people who have very big flaws.
Yes.
But you also have to have a nuanced take, because those big flaws can also be balanced by very positive aspects of their personality. And I think Kat's shown that, yes, she is flawed.
Yes.
No question.
She would be the first to admit it.
She's the first. She actually fully was like, yes, this is why I have these issues, and I'm telling you about it, and I know I have these issues. But when she's good, she's very good. And when she's bad, she's terrible. And that's what a lot of people are.
Yeah.
And we just happen to see it on TV. And I'm sure if you met Kat, some people would say, oh, narcissist, terrible person. And some people would be like, oh my God, that girl was delightful. And it's just like, come on, just balance. Like, just understand that humans are humans. They're not robots.
Especially given it's on camera and a lot of it is manipulated and brought out of them. Like, it's meant to bring out the worst in a person. And it's an interesting case with Kat because, and we'll get to this later, obviously, but her biggest crime was, stealing John Henry away, even though I think if you are going to blame someone in that situation, it should more so be John Henry, Maybe.
I mean, then she's Robin Hood, because look at what happened.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, talk about and I told you so. I wonder what the people who really, 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 like, Kat got some hateful shit out there.
Yeah.
And I just wonder where they stand on her now. And it's interesting that it would take something like this for them to come around. And I'm sure there are people who still won't come around.
Yeah, I'm sure there are
we're
a
all
lot of
human.
people. I think people really enjoy hating on people. And we've seen shows. We just saw a show where we really hated on someone.
Yeah.
She sucked. She did something that really sucked.
Yeah.
And then the person who called her out on it didn't get the proper due for calling her out. She got hated on for calling her out. And then we were like, how is that even possible?
Totally.
But in the end, like, is the person we hated on probably a terrible person? No. I'm sure she's a fine person.
No, and also she was in an environment that I'm sure in real life she maybe wouldn't have made that decision.
Yeah. Yeah, and we know, even though we enjoyed, we really did. We were like, oh, this is good. We hate this girl.
Yeah.
In the end, it's like, no. If we met her, we'd probably be like, oh, she's fine. She's a nice person.
100%.
You have to remember that, because when you get too drunk on the hate with these chat groups and everything, it becomes an actual problem.
Yeah.
And it's not good for the world.
And it's also not good for the mental health of a human being who
Yes.
may see it. And I mean, oftentimes people DM this stuff. Like they want them to see it. That's just messed up. Okay, anyway, we're getting off topic, but suffice to say, it was really humanizing to hear Kat's backstory here, also John Henry's.
Yeah.
And he says that he thinks they could help each other with their struggles. And she says she'd love to help him through anything. She really cares about him. I really buy this.
Yeah.
I mean, they really just...
They're going to work. Have I been wrong yet?
I don't think you have.
I mean, Kenny and Mari was the one I wanted to bet on, and they just got married on this show.
That was just $1. We've really gone up in the value since then.
So I'm gonna give this the 3-year guarantee.
Damn.
Shandy guarantee.
Okay.
3 years at least.
I don't know if I want to bet against you. I'm just gonna keep losing money.
1 year?
He says her moving out at 17 and becoming what she's become, that's his new favorite thing about her. Oh, that's
nice.
really sweet.
Yeah.
And
they bring out the best in each other.
They do. And as they make out in the water, we hear Kat and her ITM say that John Henry sees her in the way she's wanted to be seen for so long. Really beautiful stuff. Again, the substance. If this were just like, I really see a future with you. Yeah, I want to give this a go. Yeah, I'm falling in love with you. Yeah, I am in love with you. You know, that can only go so far before it just stops having any meaning. You need context.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point?
What's the point?
So back at the beach, there's a preliminary getting to know you chat between Jess and Tanner. But there's not a lot going on there. And now a date card arrives for Aaron and Eliza. And this highlights Kylie's insecurity over the fact that she thinks Aaron B would propose to Eliza tomorrow, but she doesn't think Avon's there.
Ooh,
dun, dun, dun.
No.
And now she chats with Mercedes and admits her toxic trait. I think it's so cute when people are like, this is my toxic trait.
Yeah, that's nice. It's very 2024.
So, yeah. It's up there with, this is giving desperate. This is giving whatever.
I just learned that, so.
Yeah. Last night.
It's true.
She admits her toxic trait is wondering if something better is out there. But with Avon, she knows he's the one. And this ends with Mercedes basically giving the advice that she needs to have that conversation with him. But here I was distracted at how little we know Avon still after this whole season. I mean, considering he's one of the big couples.
Do not know who he is.
Yeah. I mean, through this engagement saga that goes on in this episode, we definitely get to know him a tiny bit more. But it's kind of incredible how Avon's been given no flavor. And I really put that on the show because I think Avon does have flavor. Like, I really liked what I got to see of him
I want
in
to
this episode.
see more of Avon.
Aaron and Eliza on their date now. They meet a shaman who does a smoke ceremony with them and brings them into a sweat lodge. And she says they must share their fears with each other. And Aaron B says he is afraid of rejection. He wants commitment and prays for jubilant, everlasting love.
Jubilant love.
A great word, jubilant. And now alone outside, he tells her that he's falling for her and he sees an engagement. And Eliza looks ecstatic and says that she's falling for him too. They make out. And in his voiceover, we hear Aaron say, "It's giving forever."
And that's where I learned it.
Yeah, this is where we paused and we're like, that's what it means.
Yeah, we had to rewind a few times because I was like, what does that mean? What is giving?
I tried to explain. I was like, it's like a Gen Z thing.
Did you really know it before?
Yeah, I've
that
heard it
happened?
before, but if I'm honest, I think I learned it through the Bachelor world.
Okay.
It's giving, later on, Kylie says it's giving desperate. Here, it's giving forever.
Oh, okay. That's the new thing now.
Yeah, there's also, did you hear about the word? It's
What's
like
the word?
the new word.
What's the word? What's the new word?
Riz.
Riz?
Riz.
What is Riz?
I love you, husband. I love that you don't know what Riz is. I'm on my high horse. I only learned what it meant yesterday.
Can I guess what Riz is?
Yeah.
Real?
No.
Charisma?
Wow. Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It means
second guess. Wow.
Very good.
That makes me
Did you
almost
kind of know that somewhere deep down?
I think I may have heard it somewhere.
Okay.
Oh, maybe in the Golden Bachelor. I did. You know what? I cheated subconsciously. I didn't realize I was cheating, but I think that the Golden Bachelor had said at one point, my grandkids said that I have Riz.
Oh.
And then I did. So I cheated.
Oh,
I mean, but I didn't mean to cheat.
Yeah.
But I'm admitting I cheated. So technically there was no cheating.
So do you think you'll be using Riz in the near future?
I do not. Athena is the goddess of war, so why not trust her shaving your legs?
I don't even know what to say to that one. Athena, yes, goddess of war. Also Athena Club does make the best razor.
It's a razor made by someone who's been in battle.
Okay. I see how you're making that work. Very good. It's a sexy razor. It's a razor that has weight. It feels quality. The blade is serum infused with shea butter and hyaluronic acid.
It's a blade of glory.
And it even has a magnificent magnetic hook, so you can just hang that razor in your shower.
I'm jealous that you got to do that. I know how good that feels.
It never gets old. It's just like,
yes.
Like over and over again.
It's made to be there. Here, give that to me.
You want to play with it for a while? I gotta say, it is an epic shaving experience. I never thought I would be advertising a razor on this podcast, but it is such a pleasure to use. It glides so nicely. It's just everything you want a razor to be. And I love that it doesn't sit in its own goop. And it just makes the shower look nicer because of that little hook.
Can I unsheath this blade? And I know we've said this before, but it bears repeating. This is a value with a capital V for victory.
Wow, I'm really impressed with how you've continued to tie that in. Yes, the razor kit, which includes the razor itself, 2 blades, and the magnetic hook, is $10. Can you imagine? $10? Are you kidding me? That's way less than a cocktail in New York City.
I feel like I've gotten $10 value just stroking this handle.
So if you're ready to upgrade your shaving experience, switch to the best razor on the market and show your skin you care with Athena Club.
Head over to Athena Club and grab your razor kit today.
Or you can find Athena Club razors at your local Target.
Go to athenaclub.com and use code dearshandy at checkout to get 20% off your purchase.
Again, that's code dearshandy to get 20% off your purchase. Trust me, you will not look back. Happy shaving. So Andy, we may be in a hotel room, but one thing remains constant. And that is the fabric in which your legs are swaddled.
And, I was packing for this trip and I needed black clothing. And, black goes with everything.
Yeah.
That's for me. It's easy for me because I have trouble with the fashions. But I always bring these cozies because they are always black and they have been black for years now. This pair of pants that I have worn literally every day. You tell me, does this look like a pant I've worn every day for 2 years?
It's so true. You, in fact, have another pair of black joggers that are not Cozy Earth. They are not made with Cozy Earth's amazing viscose from bamboo, which, by the way, is also more sustainable a fabric, but, that's just an aside. They started to look gray after about 6 months of wear and wash. It's unbelievable how long you've had these and how brand new they still look.
And what we were discussing about these pants translates directly to the sheets.
Oh, they're bed sheets. I mean, that's the Cozy Earth thing. Their joggers are obviously, I think you've made their joggers famous, Andy, but Cozy Earth bed sheets. If you are in the market for bed sheets and you're not considering Cozy Earth, then I feel like you've been living under a rock. They're made from viscose from bamboo, which makes them unbelievably soft, like velvety soft, like silky soft. Yet they're also unbelievably durable. And we would know because Andy has torn almost every sheet we've had before these with your very jagged toenails.
It's like the Excalibur pulling the sword out of the stone. I will tear every sheet until I find the right one.
Except for Cozy. Yes, you found the right one. Yeah. It's your Excalibur.
Yeah, it's beaten me. It's tamed me like a wild stallion of sheet tearing.
And it's that time of year when one must think of gifts. I mean, if you know someone needs bed sheets, this is a great gift.
There's a variety of things you can get at Cozy Earth. Each one would be a gift that people would remember and they would get back to you about.
They would follow up with you.
They'd be like, by the way.
So here's our gift to you, our Shandies this holiday season.
Go to cozyearth.com and enter promo code Shandy at checkout to save up to 40%.
Hurry, this holiday offer ends soon. That's cozyearth.com, promo code Shandy, cozyearth.com. So back on the beach, Kat and John Henry are talking about the future more. She says she'd be willing to come to Virginia Beach. And Andy, you said this lack of boom boom room blows.
Yeah. What happened to Boom Boom Room? Is it so it's not politically correct anymore? You can't do that?
I think so. I think people were getting slut shamed, which is really a shame.
This is my issue. It's not that I'm not like getting off on watching people go to the Boom Boom Room because you don't see anything.
No, but it gives you context.
It gives you color. It's like, oh, they're Boom Boom Room material.
Yes.
Like what if like, for example, well, I'm not going to spoil the ending. Spoil. It's like a fish with flies buzzing around. You're like, don't want to spoil that fish. It's good eating. So my point is that like Olivia and Michael, for example, I don't know if they've boom boomed. And if they haven't, that makes it, it's the past tense of boom boom room. They boom boom roomed. I don't know if they did. And that would change the whole color. If I knew they did or they didn't, change my whole color of what I think that relationship is.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when you see suddenly relationships evaporate, you're like, what? What happened there?
Yeah.
There may have been something to do with the boom boom room.
I could not agree with you more. It really leaves you scratching your head a lot with this show when you don't have any boom boom room access.
Right? I don't need the infrared, like night vision, seeing them rolling around on the sheets. I just want to see them walk in the boom room. They're like, it's almost like, honestly, I don't even need to see them walk in the boom room. You could just have like a boom boom graphic. It's like, ding! Like it just be before they go.
Yeah, it's like on the plane when the bathroom's occupied.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's red. It's red, and we know who it is. That's all. We don't need to know what they're doing. They could just be having a conversation, but it signifies something.
Yeah. Even at commercial break, they can come back and be like the boom boom room tally, like 1 0 0 1. I don't care.
Like a couple, I would really be curious to know if they boom boomed is Blake and Jess.
Right.
That's for me like top
critical.
Yes.
That changes everything.
100%. Yes. Like I'm assuming John Henry and Kat have boomed.
Blake, if you boom boom, DM us. We want to know. We won't tell anybody.
At the bar, we see Jess playing with Mercedes' braid, which for some reason
cute.
We found hilarious.
I like that.
It was her expression. They were both so done. Like Jess's expression, she looked like, you know what I felt like? Like that's the Jess I've been waiting to see. The Jess that doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Give it up.
Like even when Kat came up to her and was like, let's go talk. And she was just like, no. I was like,
she's done with
Jess, like, where have you been? I'm not saying you have to be like kind of bitchy. I'm saying just let yourself out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she was letting herself out. And I think that was what got her off the beach.
Yes.
Yeah, she didn't want to have her true self out.
Yeah.
She wasn't comfortable with it, which I respect.
Totally.
But, we didn't get to see real Jess.
Totally. And then she ends up talking to Tanner now. She says when things went down, he was the one person who made her feel wanted and seen. She says she hasn't been able to be her happy self. It's not fair to him or herself. He says she has to make the best decision for herself. He just wants to see her happy. She says, I just want to be at home. Yeah. And I wrote, just leave. Yeah. Like this, not to sound heartless, but I'm going to compare this to my own experience on the show a million years ago. There was a point where the whole internet was like, will you just leave already? Like, stop talking about leaving, just leave. And I found it kind of hurtful because it was a really like difficult decision. It felt very, and everything, in that situation is so magnified. It seems so much more serious and life or death than it actually is. And so I relate to her struggle here. And generally when people are like, oh, stop talking about leaving, just leave, I always take the side of the contestant. But I got to say, Jess is the first time ever since having gone through it myself that I was kind of like, just leave.
Yeah.
Just leave. And not in a mean way,
but
better. Just like, this is not your setting. We said it last week. I just don't think this is Jess's setting. And I think when Blake left, I think Jess also should have left. Like maybe she got the ego boost of Tanner expressing his interest in her. But, she's been done. She's been done on this show for a while. And it's not really fun watching someone like that. Like I want her to go home and hug her loved ones.
I agree with you. I agree.
Okay.
100%. I have nothing to add.
Okay.
I was agreeing with you the whole time.
I'm just talking to myself here. Everyone's crying, and Jess in her exit interview says that she came for love. She left with nothing.
Nothing except many more followers and absolutely no loss whatsoever.
Kat in her ITM cries that Jess wanted love so bad and she didn't find it. I find all this a little much.
This is ridiculous.
Yes.
This is they're acting as if they're going off to execution or something. This is absurd. They just had a nice vacation, had a few laughs, some free drinks, some TV time. Goodbye.
Cool
Enough
experience.
With this nonsense.
They could take a page out of Rachel's book.
Rachel, tell you something. Redemption Rachel.
Oh.
That's my new nickname.
Yes.
Redemption Rachel. Great nickname.
Yeah, Rachel really did this right. Her exit, she was like, I came for this, and like, I got so much more. Like, love schmuv.
Love schmuv. Yes.
Yeah.
Love schmuv.
Tanner also leaves now, and we marveled, Andy, at how boring this episode was so far. And I mean, this was the more interesting part.
Yeah.
It got a lot more boring, I'm sorry to say. The gist now, narrated by our trusty narrator, Olivia, is that the beach is falling apart.
Yeah.
So now this brings us back over to Kylie and Avon. She asks how he's feeling about an engagement.
Another couple I want to know about the boom boom room.
Oh,
with.
they've definitely boom boom.
You think we don't know?
Oh my God. If I could only bet on one couple having boom boomed, it's Avon and Kylie.
No, it's Sam and what's his name?
Peter?
Yeah.
Oh, you think?
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe Kylie and Avon.
Kylie and Avon, I just feel like that physical attraction is really at the heart of what makes them work.
I think John Henry and Kat.
Oh,
are the most definite boom boom.
I definitely think they've boomed.
They've boomed.
Boomed.
Yeah.
But Avon and Kylie, like that kiss on their first date, like so much of their connection feels physical to me.
I think you're probably right. Can we say what couple definitely hasn't boom boom?
Has not?
Yeah. What if you had money? Like, what's the least likely boom boom? I have a theory.
Like a past couple or a couple
no, like
that made
couple
it to this
right
episode?
now, right at this point in time where we're at in the recap. No boom boom.
No boom.
With most likely no boom boom.
Why does that never get old? I don't know if I picture Olivia and Michael.
That's mine too.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know if I see it.
I agree with you.
I really liked them together.
I did too.
Past tense.
I did too, but no boom boom.
No, it doesn't really have
I mean, we assume no boom boom. Maybe they're the only one who boom booms.
Yeah.
We don't know. Why didn't you tell us?
Okay, so Kylie asks how he's feeling about an engagement, and Avon asks why an engagement is what she needs to believe that he wants to leave with her. And he seems to have a pretty strong reaction to this, like bordering on too strong. But then I felt how she handled this like throughout the episode made him, like it kind of redeemed him because I would find her perspective on this very frustrating if I were him. He says, why can't she see his perspective? And she says she sees his perspective. It sucks, but whatever. And Andy, you were annoyed by this.
I was.
By the it sucks, but whatever.
Yeah, don't it sucks, but whatever this.
Yeah.
It's a reasonable stance.
Yes.
It's like he doesn't want to, it's like eating a fruit that's not fully ripe yet. Like, why are you rushing into it? Just wait a day.
Yes, it'll be so much better. That's the thing. If he does propose one day after having lived with her in the real world and made it work in the real world, that proposal will mean so much more.
100%. You know what it makes me think? It makes me think it's like a face-saving thing. Like Kylie's like, I don't want America to see me not get engaged to. Or sorry, proposed to, engage. Yeah. But you know what I mean? And nothing against Kylie. I understand the pressure sometimes, you know, of like, oh, I want to leave an engagement to show people, but I don't understand at the same time.
Yeah.
I think that's a bad reason. And I think that it shows actually to some degree more seriousness about the relationship if you say, I really like you, like I'm into you. And it's clear that Avon likes Kylie. There's no question about it.
He said it in a million ways.
A million ways. He said that. And he said, I want to nurture this. He clearly doesn't want to jump into engagement on TV and make it this charade.
Yes.
He wants to slow grow it, which is exactly what you should do. Avon could easily get his screen time and get his getting on his down and on his knees and giving her the ring, and then 2 weeks later be like, peace.
Yes.
Easily.
How is the ring going to prevent
There's
them
no
from
legal contract.
Yes. She's acting like the ring represents a certain level of seriousness, which we know from experience. How many couples have gotten engaged in this exact situation and not made it past a year?
1 out of the 2 on this season.
Yes, we're at like a 50% chance. I would say even worse. Lower odds.
Yeah.
So it was a little frustrating for her to keep making the argument that the engagement would represent his seriousness.
No.
It really felt like she was afraid of being duped. But the whole point of this, the whole point of a relationship is trust. You know, like letting go of your fear of losing face and of being humiliated and whatever, not being engaged to.
Yeah.
And just trusting in what you've got. And I feel like she was just putting so much weight on this ring, and as though that would prevent her from losing face down the road. Like there is no guarantee in any relationship. There's no guarantee with us. That's the thing about relationships.
Yeah.
What guarantee? Just because you get married doesn't mean that you're protected.
Yeah. Look, I'm engaged. That means it's permanent.
Yeah. No.
Like, no.
It doesn't work like
that. If anything, it's the opposite. Honestly, the pressure of being engaged out of nowhere on TV and then having to live in the real world engaged. You're like, whoa, I'm engaged. I'm going to be married. Like, this is getting stressful.
This made me fall in love with Avon. I loved how he stuck to his guns because we have seen many people in this exact situation end up caving. Because they want to make them happy.
Yes.
And she was really putting up a fight throughout this episode. Like, she was not dropping it.
No. And let me tell you something. Either way, Avon wins. Because if they break up, people are obviously going to be like, oh, see, Avon was just going to break up with her the whole time. No. If they break up, that means it was never meant to be.
Yeah, it means that they were never supposed to get engaged.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That means Avon made the right decision.
Yes. He made the right decision no matter what.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
We agree.
Done.
Kylie in our ITM says, when are you going to be ready? You're almost 30 years old.
1 foot in the grave.
Avon in his ITM says, if he were to propose and it didn't work out, he would regret it for the rest of his life. Oh. I just love that he stuck to his guns. They part ways here. Kylie's in tears, saying if he can't see it now, she doesn't know if he ever will. And as Avon heads off to bed, upset, we hear him say, it's always about a fucking ring.
I mean, this could be the tagline for the whole season or the whole franchise, for that matter.
The next day, there's a funny conversation between Mercedes and Kat about bananas. Turns out Mercedes likes a browned, mushy, warm.
I tell you, Mercedes was slowly becoming the one I'd go for.
Yeah,
and this lost me. Yeah. I'd be living in a house with brown bananas, mushy bananas.
Yeah.
It's crazy. She's a crazy person.
What happens in this house is there's a 3-day window where the bananas get eaten. Yeah. And when they get too brown, neither of us touch them.
Well,
that's when I freeze them for my smoothies.
That's great. I love that you do that because otherwise we would be a very banana wasteful household.
Yeah, no, we never waste bananas.
Bananas got to be, as a matter of fact, there shouldn't be any brown spots on a banana. Except the banana I painted back here.
Suffice to say, which we've shown to people.
Have we shown it?
Yeah, on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
See, if you're not following us on Instagram, you're missing this.
You can't see the banana I painted. It's a good banana.
It's premium content. But we agreed with Kat. We prefer a slightly firm banana. It's just ungreening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If you want to make cookies or like a pudding, maybe a brown banana is fine, but not for just eating straight.
Yes. Kylie arrives and is very down. She hated that Avon left when things got tough. I don't know if I saw this the same way as her. To me, it seemed like that conversation had sort of run its course.
Yeah.
And I think it's important in a relationship to know when to part ways, to decompress, to sort out your thoughts and come back together in a productive way.
Yes.
That's my personal opinion. One of the things that makes this work is the fact that when we're upset at each other, we do take time apart.
Yeah.
And it always ends up solving itself partly because of that time apart.
Sure.
Otherwise, if you're together too much, you end up saying things you don't mean.
Sometimes you got to let things cool down. It's like when you have one of those dishes where after you finish cooking it, you have to let it sit. Mm-hmm. And if you don't let it sit, you eat it right away, it's not as good.
Yeah, you have to let it rest.
Got to let it cool a little bit. Relationships are like a hot lasagna.
Fresh out of the oven. Avon arrives, sits next to her, and asks how she is. And we hear her say, I don't want to talk about it here. And to me, this clearly meant that they were told that they had to sit there and wait. Because otherwise, why wouldn't they just go to a daybed and talk, right?
Yeah. and
it turns out here is where Kenny and Mari arrive. So that's proof that, whenever someone arrives and all the people happen to be sitting there, they don't happen to be sitting there. They're told to sit there, kind of like on The Bachelor in that big U seating arrangement. Yeah. It's like, oh, someone just happened to walk in.
They were actually all previously invited to this wedding. It just was coincidence that they were the only ones left on the beach.
This wedding.
I mean.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Pretty funny.
Kenny and Mari.
You know who found this funny? I know Kenny found this funny.
100% Kenny found this funny.
100%. Mari found it funny too, but Kenny particularly found it funny.
Kenny
I know
and Mari, friends of the pod. I will link out our love fest with them here.
And also the bet that I won on this.
Oh, how in the description, I'll link out the Instagram post about the bet.
Yes.
Andy won his first $1.
First $1. First of many.
But yeah, they arrive and announce that they will be getting married.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Right there.
I gotta say, this didn't seem like a real wedding.
It was not. This was a sham wedding. A sham wedding for what will be a real wedding.
Well, I think they've already gotten married, according to the internet. They've already gotten married. Yeah, but I can't tell whether it was before this or just after this, but this felt like a for show wedding.
Oh, there's no question it was a sham.
Yeah, and it made me wonder if you get engaged on the show, if now it's a contractual obligation to come back and get married. on a later season.
I mean, it did feel to me like they were like, all right, let's do this.
It kind of did, didn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit.
I mean, it was clearly not. Blake was the best man. What was Blake doing there? He's just sitting there. They're like, oh, let's make the best man. This guy who had some weird relationship with this girl, Kylie, who's still here.
Well, I do think Kenny and Blake are friends.
I know, but
they were on the same season together.
I agree, but it's a little convenient that... Come on. I mean, this is a complete sham.
Yeah, and there was no family.
There's no family.
Friends.
Yeah,
it's all these people they just met. It was a little silly. Yeah, I don't think anyone would expect this to have been a real wedding. No one,
including the show itself, thought that anyone thought this was a real wedding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Settled.
That's what makes me think that it was a contractual obligation.
I agree.
Or they got paid, in which I really hope they got paid.
Sham
and you know what? Power to them. Yeah. I hope that they got paid. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
Because this was of high value. They teased it all season long. They got the shots of Kylie looking at them.
Oh, totally.
And the quotes from Jesse being like, oh, you really fought for this relationship. And then Kylie looking sad like Avon doesn't fight for the relationship.
No, they got paid.
I have to point out that heading into this wedding, we get a hidden camera shot from like the women's quarters of Kylie saying, I miss Blake. Oh, we have to talk about that. Apparently, we weren't the only ones with sick minds who thought that.
Everyone. We were mocked for thinking we were the only ones with sick minds.
We thought we were unique snowflakes. We're not. Also, John Henry in the audience was wearing fashion specs. I think. They looked like fashion
specs. Makes me think differently of him. Not in a bad way.
I wrote, this makes me see him a little differently.
Yeah, a little differently.
Yeah. I didn't think he was a fashion spec guy.
I thought he was an underwater welder guy straight through. But the fashion spec thing throws me. Maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. The jury's out, but he's changed to me forever.
And of course, Blake comes in as that best man, and Kylie looks a little too excited. I mean, what is going on with that friendship? There's something there.
You know, it may be one of those flirty friendships, like a friendship. I don't know. Now I'm thinking like it kind of, the air was let out of that balloon when she kind of just asked him for advice. He gave it to her and they had a nice hug and that was it.
Yeah.
Like maybe we got fooled. I don't know. Maybe Kylie was fooling us.
I do feel like Kylie is flirty.
She's flirty.
She's flirty.
She likes playing the game.
Yeah. I think in her male platonic friendships, she's, she's just aware of things.
She's got that Nick dancer vibe.
The lone Nick dancer.
One Nick.
Now, after the wedding, there is a rave reception party.
Ecstasy provided.
Mercedes in her ITM says that the last few days haven't been fun, but you know what is fun?
Ecstasy.
Raves.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with this.
Yeah, this is a very low-key rave.
Yeah, I do.
But I don't like high-key rave. I just think raves are overrated unless you really are into drugs.
I'm not a big rave. I've been to one club situation once ever. It was in Toronto. That was probably the closest thing to a rave. And I remember the whole time I found it way too loud.
Yeah, I know. We've always been old people. But you know what? You really got to love dancing to like raves. You can't just like drugs or like loud music. You got to like dancing.
Yes,
and we're just not dancers.
Yeah, look, I'm willing to dance a bit if I really go there. But it was just, if it's so loud that my ears are ringing for the next couple of days, that usually just fills me with fear. It's just never worth it for that night. I don't know. I'm not a rave person. But, apparently we're in the minority. Look at Burning Man, right? People love this stuff.
No, I mean, but I will say this. People are like, oh,
wait, is Burning Man ravey?
Burning Man is ravey.
Yeah.
It's in the rave, like it's a Venn diagram. There's rave and Burning Man cross into each other. But people are going to say, oh, you sound like old people. But I've never been into raves.
Yeah, me
Even
neither.
when I was 16, 17, 18, it doesn't matter. I'm never into raves.
Same. Agreed.
So there. I don't know what
I've
we're
always
proving.
been old.
Yeah, see, we told you. What's going on here?
The main event, though, is Kylie and Avon. So Kylie pulls Blake to chat. We got excited here, but
I was so excited.
What a letdown!
But I knew
Blake,
right away this wasn't going to satisfy us.
They're both too in control.
They're too in control. Neither of them are going to make that. That's a slip. In front of everybody, they know. You know what Blake is aware of? He's aware of who's watching.
Yes.
In a good way.
And I think had this whole situation not been filmed, there's no cameras anywhere.
Oh, there would have been.
And Kylie talks to Blake the way she does.
So hot.
And he gives her that kind of grin.
Oh, up against the wall.
I think something would have happened.
Oh, it would have been a hot scene.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, not definitely. I'm just saying it was I want that to happen. Maybe.
I'm giving it an 80% chance.
Yeah.
There is so much chemistry between them, and it is not just platonic. I'm sorry, it's not. Everyone saw it. Everyone agrees.
saw it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah, no cameras. There would have been a sly makeout.
If I were Avon and I watched this season back, I'd be like,
I'd be jealous. Yeah. You think Avon and Blake were they friends at all before this, or no? They didn't have any.
They were not
connection?
on the same season. I don't know. I can see them getting along, but I don't think they're like besties.
I think that if they go to a party and he knows that Blake's going to be there, Avon may not want to go.
Yeah, or he's like, ugh.
Yeah, he's like,
I
"Let's
feel
not
like
go."
there's a fight had at some point. Yeah.
She's like, let's go to this party. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
He's like, is Blake there? Like, oh, is that why you want to go? And then there's a fight. And that's it. No more proposal.
Kylie tells Blake that since he left, things have gone to shit. And she says Avon's not into an engagement with her and she feels stupid. Meanwhile, Avon is pouring his heart out to Mari and Kenny.
This is pretty good.
I don't know why this was so funny.
And Kenny's like, all right, I'll make my check here. He's wearing his sequin white no shirt.
Yes.
I mean, that's a great. I mean, I know that was the point of dressing like that,
Yeah.
but Kenny really. I mean,
Kenny's,
no one looks more that than Kenny in that outfit.
Kenny is hysterical.
He's hysterical.
Everything Kenny on that Love Fest, he made us laugh the entire time.
Kenny is one of my favorites to come out of this whole franchise from the beginning.
Yeah, and them
it's
together.
effortless. He is never. Kenny has not one time in his life tried to be funny.
I will say, you always like the Chicago Bachelor guys.
I'm a sucker for Chicago.
Yeah, Grocery Store Joe, Chris Bukowski, and Kenny. Like
Chicago's
you really got a thing with
something's
Chicago
in the
guys.
water there.
Yeah,
good guys.
Yeah.
You know what they are? They're just good guys.
yeah, and they're all a little like quirky.
a little weird.
Yeah.
They don't look weird. They look like they'll be something, but then they're a little different than that something.
Yeah.
It's like they take a little left turn.
Yeah, and they're sensitive in a surprising way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And him and Mari together, I mean, they just really work. But so here, as Avon talks about, what's going on with him and Kylie, Kenny's like, she seems great. Kenny says he shouldn't pass up on something great just because it's not perfect. And he kind of fell into that trap when he was on the show.
Could you imagine taking advice from Kenny in this outfit? I mean, it's just unbelievably hilarious.
Okay, so Kylie and Avon now talk. Turns out Blake's epic advice was to have no regrets. Avon says his feelings for her are very strong. He doesn't want to lose her. He wants to start a life with her. He's falling in love with her. Kylie says the engagement represents so many things. And he asks why it has to carry so much weight. And Avon comforts her and says they can do this. Andy, here you said, I wish I had small ears.
I do.
So Avon has small ears?
It's smallish. They're not weirdly small. They're just normal small. I just always, if there's one thing, I mean, there's a few things I would change, but like gun to my head real quick, make a decision, make my ears a little smaller.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like my ear's too big.
I love your ears.
Oh, that's all that counts.
There's nothing wrong with your ears.
Okay, what about my nose?
I love your nose too.
So is there anything you change? What should I change? Gun to my head. If I ever have this option, I need to know because you're the most important person I'm trying to please.
I love you just as you are.
So nothing. Nothing's changed. Zero.
Nothing.
Bigger legs? Maybe a little bigger in the leg?
Okay, move on.
Okay.
And now Kylie and Mercedes chat, and Kylie now bitterly says that Avon knew from the beginning he was never going to get down on one knee. We don't understand
From the beginning? Why would he think from the beginning he's getting down on one knee without having met anyone?
It's so true. I wrote, we don't understand the problem. If anything, I think it makes it a more personal thing for him, the fact that he was never going to get down on one knee, if that is indeed true. Also, how much? Let's say he does cave. Yeah. Okay. She chips away at this enough, and Avon's like, okay, I'll propose.
Makes no difference. If anything, he'll hold a grudge. He'll be like, why'd you make me do this?
And also, how much is that proposal going to mean?
Means nothing. Nothing.
If
means negative.
If you have to ask for it over and over and over again, and he clearly doesn't want to do it, and finally he caves and gives it to you, that is the least romantic engagement I can imagine.
Look, 100%. If it happens in real life, let's say you're dating someone for like 4, 5, 6 years and they're not proposing, but you know that you're eventually getting married. You're just like, he's just dragging his feet. He wants to make believe he's single or her or whatever, whatever it is, or anyone. I don't care. Whatever the situation is, some person is dragging
You're
their
really
feet.
setting the scene here.
Yeah, it's a very bad scene. And eventually you're like, what's going on here? Are we getting married or what? That's different. You can get a proposal and a marriage there without any major
and sometimes
problems.
neither party really cares about getting married that much.
Yeah, they just don't. They're like, I'm married.
It's not a priority.
Stupid. I don't want to get married. I want to deal with a wedding.
Yeah.
Some people just don't want to deal with it.
Totally.
It's like, I'm happy. We're having a nice time. I don't want to deal with all this legal stuff and like proposals and proposal party.
Okay. So
anyway, my point is that in life, that can sometimes happen and be fine.
Yeah.
In this show, ridiculous.
Yes.
It's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
What is this? This is absurd.
Okay. We agree.
The whole premise is absurd.
Yes. I can't imagine anyone seeing this differently.
No, there are a lot of people who see it differently.
What, they think that the proposal should happen?
I think people will think, the people who see this differently will say, well, they came on this show knowing the deal.
No, but it's not the deal.
I'm saying,
it's not like The
you're
Bachelor.
arguing with the person that I'm, the fictional person that I'm talking about. That's not me. Don't argue with me. I'm talking about the other person.
Okay.
This person's going to say, well, they came on the show knowing what the deal is.
Okay.
The deal is, if you like the person, you get engaged at the end. That's the deal. So a lot of people say, like, well, they deserve the engagement. That's the whole point. It makes them look stupid if they don't get engaged. And that's a poor argument. A traditionalist will say that. Someone who's like, you gotta go by tradition. This is the thing. It's the thing you do on the show.
Yeah, but tradition created by a bunch of producers who are trying to make money.
Right. It's a false premise.
It's like saying you need to get engaged with a diamond ring because De Beers told you so.
Yeah, or Neil Lane.
Neil Lane got some real press in this one.
Although
I gotta say, the rings,
the dimes are getting smaller. You notice that?
They are.
That's not a good sign for the franchise.
These are Paradise rings. They're not Bachelorette
This
rings.
is not 2016 Bachelor in Paradise rings. Skin for the win with apostrophe.
Wow. Andy, on the spot. That came out of nowhere.
No.
There was no planning.
I mean, there usually is no planning.
Do you think
I plan these songs?
Well, skin for the win indeed, Andy. And with apostrophe, you can really up your skincare regimen. You can get prescription skincare delivered directly to your door without ever leaving the comfort of your sofa.
And what better thing to not leave when it comes to skin? You like that?
I do.
I'm a pro.
Well, because normally to get, let's say, prescription tretinoin, which everyone knows I use, everyone knows. I've been talking about it for years.
Like, you know that Sharleen joint? Yeah, she uses tretinoin, right? Oh, yeah.
I mean, normally you would have to go to a dermatologist and then go to the pharmacy. And with apostrophe, you fill out their online consultation. You take selfies of your skin and then type out what your skin concerns are. And that could be fine lines, wrinkles. It could be acne. And then a board certified dermatologist will review your information and prescribe you something if they feel you need it. And then that's delivered to your door. I mean, it's the ultimate in taking advantage of today's internet conveniences. I think normally that's a real barrier to entry, is having to go to an actual doctor. Like, that is a huge commitment. And not only is that time consuming, but it's costly.
And I would be remiss if I did not mention that it does not just cover acne, but also chest knee, back knee, and butt knee.
Yes. You mean face knee. It doesn't just cover face knee.
You know,
I'm never going to let you let that one die.
I never said that. It's a lie.
So we have a very special deal for our audience, the Shandies. Right now, you can get your first visit with an apostrophe provider for only $5, basically the price of a latte. When you go to apostrophe.com/Shandy and enter promo code Shandy at sign up, that is a savings of $15, and this offer is only available to our listeners.
To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/Shandy and click Get Started.
Then use our code Shandy at sign up and you'll get your first visit for only $5. And we thank Apostrophe for sponsoring this episode. So Andy, we've mentioned before that everyone must have a website.
Mm-hmm.
A square space online.
Yeah, or rectangular. That's not a good name. Rectangular space. Yeah, they thought about it.
Yeah, I see why they went with Squarespace.
Yeah.
We love us some Squarespace. Squarespace, in case you have been living under a rock, is an amazing platform for building gorgeous websites with little to no coding experience. And I can speak from experience in that regard because we have multiple websites on Squarespace, and I've actually been spending time on Squarespace again because I am updating my singing website. I always love when it's been a few months since I've made a Squarespace website because I get to fiddle with what's new.
Yeah.
And you know the new thing they have now?
Tell me.
There's a new feature where you can basically design your own template. They now have an option where you can be like, okay, I want my main page to have this and my about page to have this and my shop page to be like this. And then it basically formulates these pages together for you. I know that might not make sense until you get there, but trust me, it's extremely cool.
You know what I haven't noticed is a lot of cursing coming from upstairs.
Oh, very true. But no, Squarespace is so streamlined and they have features for everything. and I really do mean this, because all these different websites I have all are totally different. You know, we have a podcast website, I have a blog, I have a singing website, we did our wedding website. Each of those is going to have totally different features. It's incredible. You can do galleries, you can do online booking, you can do sales, like you can sell product. You can even do flexible payment plans. They have something for everyone.
So go to squarespace.com/Shandy and use code Shandy to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Again, that's squarespace.com/Shandy and use code Shandy to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Okay, so Mercedes and Jordan chat now. She says she doesn't see a connection romantically, and he's like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Jordan. He's so sweet.
He's
so
great.
they both leave.
Oh,
now.
that's it.
It was kind of unceremonious.
Ooh.
Jinx. Jesse arrives and rounds up the final 5 couples now and does the whole take time and think spiel. Honestly, this episode is never ending.
Never ending.
This was literally an entire hour too long.
An entire hour too long.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know why. Oh, you know, I do know why.
Was there no Golden
I'm
Bachelor?
trying to think of what happened here. I feel like Golden Bachelor, it was 9 episodes, right? Clearly what should have happened was Golden Bachelor should have been 10 episodes.
Yeah.
But I think that because they filmed it so fast, it was all just shrunk down. But I still feel like we could have gotten another episode out of Golden Bachelor. There was always more that I wanted. And for this to be a 3-hour finale with no live segment, the no live segment. Look, I don't care whether or not there's a live, usually. It doesn't bother me. But there was no like change of scenery, change of pace, change of anything. Do you know what I mean? It was just like more of the same over and over and over and over again.
It was sleepy.
It was so sleepy. It almost felt like even the powers that be, phoned it in. It's like, we got our Golden Bachelor finale.
Oh, yeah.
That's our new golden child.
Yeah.
You know, that's where we're putting all our time and effort. And like, oh, we still have to fill 3 hours. Okay.
I mean, how many people do they have to go around to do all the editing? I mean, obviously they put really most of their effort into Golden Bachelor.
Towards the end,
Towards
anyway.
the end. They're
Yeah.
like, this is our child.
Yeah. As the couples head off to take time and think, Kylie in her ITM says that she's embarrassed to admit that she prayed in bed the night before that Avon would wake up a changed man.
A changed man. She's judging his character based on the fact that he's not proposing to her. You know what?
There's a problem there.
Kylie's going to figure, you know what's going to happen? It's going to dawn on her after they're out of paradise and she's back in the real world. She's like, oh, yeah, this makes more sense. I honestly think that.
I honestly think he saved them.
Yes. He did them a favor.
Yes.
He bore the cross. Not quite that far. But.
The girls and guys chat separately now, and Aaron is the first to come and fetch Eliza. The gist here is that they're solid. We have to point out, and I will include the clip here, as that's happening, we see Olivia holding Kat's hand to her heart. I think it's because her heart is beating fast or something. But basically, she's holding Kat's hand to her bosom.
I thought it was right on her boob, but I guess
Something
it was
like
her
that.
heart.
But come on. They're friends.
They're friends.
And we never saw the makeup.
Never saw it. They don't care about the makeup. They only care about it. You know, it's like the news. If it bleeds, it leads.
It just really doesn't give us context that we need. And I also think it's harmful, you know, given what, like, I'm not saying Kat is some victim, but I think that you can crucify someone to the point where they become a victim.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been really nice for her to have had whatever coming together moment be aired.
Yeah, even if it was super mundane, like they just met at the bar, like, hey, what's up?
Yes.
Like, oh, it's nothing.
Totally.
Your hair looks nice. Okay, good. Oh, wow, we got it.
Yes.
They're friends now.
Totally, yes. Instead of it just being in the background for something else, like here.
She's got her hand on her boob now. We have no idea how that transpired.
Avon and Kylie now talk. He says he knows the engagement is important to her, but he doesn't want that to be the reason they don't give it a shot. She says it's a disconnect for her because he says he's so sure about her, and she says he was ready to do it with Rachel. And he says,
she's got him there. Can't argue.
I don't know if he was ready to. In fact, I think that he was kind of.
You know what? As a matter of fact, I think he sort of made it clear that he wasn't ready to.
I think he was really struggling with it.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I recall that he was pretty black and white about it. Like, I don't think he was going to do it.
I don't really remember, but I also don't think it ever fully reached that point.
You know what? Maybe Avon does have a problem proposing. Just kidding.
So finally, Avon asks Kylie point blank, if we don't get engaged, are we done? She finally admits that she doesn't want to leave without him, and he agrees. And
you know what that should have been? What Kylie, the way she should have said that question is rhetorically to herself. She should have said, if we don't get engaged, are we done? No, of course not.
No.
It was a rhetorical question.
Yeah. Well, from him, it wasn't.
Right.
Because that's how much she's been harping on this. Anyway, they leave hand in hand. Everyone is shocked to see that they leave. They get in a car together and they drive off. Kind of a bit of a somber note to end on between these two. Like she's pouting.
She's pouting.
She's pouting the whole way home that she didn't get her ring.
Which makes me think that it was for face. She wanted the optics.
Yeah. And she said during Mari and Kenny's wedding that they embody everything she wants out of this experience. But, then it's not your experience if you're just modeling it after someone else.
I got to say, from a totally unbiased third-party perspective, I would think, based on what I saw, that Avon's more serious about that relationship than Kylie is.
I completely agree, because for her, it represents something else. And with him, it's really just about her.
Yeah.
And I got to say...
And by the way, I just want to make this clear. I think Kylie is absolutely delightful.
Yeah,
this is not hate on Kylie.
No.
I just think the dynamic here is wrong.
I agree. Yeah, I hope it doesn't sound like we're hating
Kylie
on Kylie.
I love Kylie.
Yeah, I think...
I might actually go for Kylie. Although, I don't know. I can't propose to her, so it's going to be a problem.
I mean, one of my all-time favorite couples to come out of Paradise are Astrid and Kevin. And look how that ended. They ended on the beach.
Ended on the beach?
Yeah, and then they got back together in real life. And then he ended up proposing like in the real world on their time. And now they just had their second kid. They have 2 dogs.
Thomas and Becca, she broke up with him,
Totally.
basically.
Like, why? Like, who cares? In fact, I really think getting proposed on the show means almost nothing.
It means nothing.
Yeah. Okay, Kat and John Henry talk. They're obviously solid. And now Peter and Sam. As he tells her how much he likes her and values her, I said that I could picture her breaking his heart. And Andy, you said, I can't picture her not breaking his heart. It's like she heard us through the TV. Yeah. She says she owes them both honesty and says that she feels like they should be further along in their relationship. What she wants is an intense, unwavering love. And they're not at that point. And it doesn't make sense to continue this relationship. So they leave. And Peter in his exit interview said that he went to 12 weddings last year. And all he wants is for one of those weddings to be his wedding. So do you have thoughts on that one?
No, I knew that wasn't going to, I didn't feel there was no energy. It was just place marker.
Yeah,
I do think there might have been Boom Boom Room. But I don't know. We'll never know.
I agree. I could picture Boom Boom Room.
Maybe one quick Boom Boom Room and then sort of like fizzle.
Okay, Olivia and Michael now. She says they click. She could see a life outside of there with him. She can't believe she's saying all this without knowing where he stands. He says he appreciates that. He's a realist. He doesn't want to give her false hope. I was sad about this.
I was sad too. I felt pretty good about this.
Yeah, I really thought that they were going to give it a go. Yeah. I feel like if they lived in the same city, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
they don't live in the same city, right?
I don't think so.
I don't actually know.
I don't know.
I just feel like this could work if they lived, 20 minutes from each other.
Sure.
But in order to make long distance work, you got to really be into it. Yeah. He says their worlds are very different. He pretty much shuts this down. I was surprised, Andy, you were not.
I wanted this to work, but I was not surprised. I think Michael, first of all, breakup 101, like the way he executed this was magnificent.
It was professional.
Like I wish that in my whole life, if I had to do one thing over again, I wish I did a Michael style breakup with some of my situations.
Can you identify what exactly?
Just warm without being misleading, to the point, quick. You know what? It's when you see great art, like, you see a great painting, like, oh, why do you like that? I don't know. It just hits me.
Okay.
That was a beautiful artistic breakup.
Wow.
Yeah. And unfortunate, because I wanted that to work.
Me too.
And I thought there was a decent chance it would work. And I feel bad for Olivia because now she's gotten beat a few times on this show. So, unfortunate ending, but well executed. I like Michael.
Yeah.
I think Michael's a stand-up guy.
Okay. I mean, I agree. In her exit interview, Olivia says that if she were a crier, she would cry right now. Oh. She says she's constantly there for other people and wonders if someone will be there for her. Andy, you said she'll find it.
She will 100% find it. More than she'll be knee deep.
Yeah, I am so not worried about Olivia.
Not worried.
I just think, if
she's young too.
I almost feel like if you don't find love in this setting, it more so speaks to like what a normal, well-adjusted person you are.
Easy. Thomas found love on this setting.
I mean, kind of, sort of, but it was in the real world that it really blossomed,
that's true. That's true.
I just think it's a weird environment, and I don't think it in any way represents your ability to be loved.
If anything, it's an outlier. It's like a real crapshoot when you find love on this show.
Jesse addresses the only 2 remaining couples now, Kat and John Henry, Eliza and AB. And Kat and John Henry go on their overnight. This is pretty much them declaring their affection for each other yet again. Yeah. She says he's the best man that has ever entered her life. She's not joking. They agree again that they would want to give this a shot in the real world. They do the fantasy suite thing. Everything's great.
Yep.
Okay, AB and Eliza now. This is of note, I think.
So this is what I gather from this relationship.
Yes.
A lot of affirmations
Yes.
over and over again. And he knows what she likes for breakfast.
And he also knows that she likes affirmations.
She loves affirmations.
She puts a high value on that. But what the hell are these two talking about?
I don't know.
Beyond
I don't know what's going on
knowing each other. Him saying, I know what you want for breakfast. Sometimes you like a mango smoothie.
Yeah.
And her being like, touched.
It makes me feel like we didn't see the real conversations. They just chose to not show them for some reason.
I just can't believe that if they're one of the final two couples standing, it makes me wonder, are those real conversations happening?
I don't know.
And I mean real conversations. I don't mean variations on I love you, I care so much about you, I want to see where this goes in the real world.
All I heard from them was the reasons why AB loves her and why this is different. And
but
her receiving and being like, that's so sweet. Basically, if I just summarize in one sentence, it's like, I love you so much. I really mean it. It's different than before. And she's like, that's so sweet. That means a lot to me. I love you too.
Yes.
End of story. That's all I heard.
Over and over again.
Oh, and by the way, I like 2 eggs and mango. I don't remember. Shame
Jam.
on me.
Don't
Shame on me
jam.
for not. Yeah, I forgot.
But even that, you said him saying why he loves her. Even that, I am not entirely sure why they love each other. It's just the giving of the words and none of the meat beneath it that makes it have value and makes it different and makes it specific.
Like relationships that didn't work out to me showed a lot more than this. Like Michael and Olivia. They said a lot more things to each other. I think that AB finds Eliza to be beautiful.
No, I think he really cares about her. But
I think he cares about her. I think she's sweet. He sees her as potentially a mother of his children. I believe all of that.
Yeah.
I just want to see if there's any real substance there beyond just this immediate animal attraction of like, I want to be with you. You're beautiful. Let's make babies together.
Yeah.
I don't
Which
see.
He actually says at one point.
He does say that.
Yeah. Here, AB says he can confidently say he's in love with her. She says she's in love with him too. They address the engagement and she says she only wants to get engaged once. So she's the one showing a little apprehension here, which kind of sums up their entire relationship. I think, Eliza likes to be pursued. She likes to be chased. And she really makes sure that that's the case every single time.
And he chased well.
Oh yeah. He says he's cool with this and says, I just want to love you how you need to be loved. Okay, so that's romantic and all, but it's all words. Like, I don't know. Like, I want to hear them talk about
stupid stuff
or
just anything other than how much they love each other
and what she eats for breakfast.
What she eats for breakfast.
Yes.
And I know they do. I know they talk about other.
I've said a couple weeks ago that I felt the relationship lacks playfulness. I hate to say that. Like, I think that they could work.
Yeah.
But and maybe we're just not being shown the stuff we need to be shown to believe this.
Maybe. But if they didn't show it because it didn't happen, there's a problem. And if they didn't show it because it did happen, then there's a problem with the show.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
Yeah. Okay, so they go to the fantasy suite, and now the next morning over breakfast, the engagement comes up yet again. In his voiceover, AB says this is a commitment to build a life and have children.
Wow, that was fast.
As Eliza continues to deliberate, Andy, you said this is not TV.
No, it fell below TV standards.
Do you want to explain?
I just felt like this episode slowly got to the point where it's not at the level of television.
Yeah.
Like, we were bored stiff for now an hour. This is just the culmination.
Yeah.
More professions of love without substance, without detail.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we get it. Just cut to the proposal.
Yeah.
This is not TV.
Yeah.
We lost us.
Yes. And I don't think as a viewer you should ever be like, oh, I guess, they had to fill another hour.
Yeah.
That's why they included that.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, it's proposal day. Aaron manages to include Eliza's breakfast order in his proposal. And he reveals...
Actually, I saw 2 very beautiful eggs sitting there. Beautiful.
Oh, yeah, that morning.
That were not
totally.
eaten. Yeah,
they might have gotten eaten.
Maybe.
He reveals he spoke with her mother, which totally woos her. It turns out that went really...
I mean, that was, first of all, that was the one little nugget I got that was kind of interesting. It wasn't really detail about conversation, but that was a very powerful move.
Yes.
It was a smart move.
Yes.
And her reaction was sincere. I think that meant a lot to her.
Yeah.
Which is great. That was the one thing. That was one nugget where I was like, oh, that's nice.
I do feel also like the producers did what they had to do.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe you should call her mom.
Yeah,
her mom's right here on the phone.
Anyway, she says yes. And in her ITM afterwards, this is so Eliza, like till the very end, she has said yes to a proposal. She has a ring on her finger.
Yeah.
And in their post, like this is the glow, right? This is the proposal glow ITM.
Yeah.
She says she truly didn't know what she was going to say until that moment. Like, why say that?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It does. I felt that instantly diminished everything.
Diminished the validity of the proposal.
Yes.
It's like if that's the only thing that was getting you over the fence, whatever, to the proposal, then there's a problem.
I've always felt that there's this power dynamic here where Eliza's always just dangling a carrot, just being slightly out of reach. He's always the first to profess however he's feeling. And he takes it. He does it over and over and over again. I am falling for you. I'm falling in love with you. I am in love with you. And even here, she's just said yes. This is the moment where they should be like this. They should be on the same playing field.
Eliza is always in the receiving position.
Yes.
She's receiving. She receives well. She's like, oh, yeah. Oh, she gives a lot of accolades for the reception.
Yeah.
But the reception
she said she loves declarations.
She's getting declared to constantly.
Yeah, but here in this moment, this is where they should be on the exact same playing field.
They locked in.
Yes, we're locked in. And then she just takes it away. She's just like, I'm here. I didn't know until the very last second that I was going to accept it. I felt that this was a really strange choice, and it did not bode well for their relationship. No. And then, we'll get to this in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have Kat and John Henry. Turns out John Henry doesn't snore.
Wow.
I wrote score.
Oh, man.
He's officially perfect.
Oh, wow. Not snoring. I mean,
that's a big deal.
Oh, yeah, that's a big deal.
And it doesn't bother me that he doesn't know what a farmer's market is.
Yeah, I don't care. You know what I like? I like someone who doesn't know what a farmer's market is and very confidently says they don't know what it is.
Totally. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so with their proposal heading into it, we hear John Henry in his voiceover say that his gut says it's too soon and the last thing he wants is to propose and then realize in the real world that they're not as compatible as they thought. Mm-hmm. So we're, getting that little bit of doubt.
Which means he's going to propose to her.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing the thing they do.
Yeah. Otherwise, you would have said, my heart's telling me to do it. I'm ready to go.
Kat arrives and delivers a truly beautiful speech.
Unbelievable.
I was really impressed, honestly.
I was too. And then let me tell you something. Kat is someone I did not want to like.
Oh, 100%.
She's won me over. Yes. Unfortunately, for people who are going to now hate on me for having been won over by her.
John Henry goes now. He says he's always trusted his gut. Right now, his gut's telling him it's too soon. Is this real? But today, he's choosing to follow his heart. He proposes and she says yes. And yeah, happy couple. I mean, I think there's kind of a big I told you so from both of them.
I agree.
Especially considering now we get a Where Are They Now montage. Well, no, sorry. First, we get even more clips throughout the season, which to me screamed, oh, we have a couple of more seconds we need to fill from this 3-hour slot.
Yeah.
Like we thought maybe at first it was unseen footage or bloopers. No, it was just repeated shots that
we didn't even get bloopers.
No. And now
they didn't even bother. They were like, "Oh, we got too much dealing with Golden Bachelor. Just don't even bother with bloopers."
Didn't it kind of feel like that? Bloopers would have been a nice little pot of gold at the end of this extremely long rainbow, if you can call it a rainbow.
I mean, to be fair, they did have the conversation with Kat and John Henry. That was
cute. Credits.
It was cute.
That was credits.
It was just you're right. That wasn't bloopers.
That's not bloopers. We deserved bloopers at the end of this.
The least they could have done was give us bloopers.
And now it's the Where Are They Now montage. The main things to note here are that Kylie and Avon are still together because I suppose he's proven himself.
He's proven himself. Yeah. I was happy about that.
Me too.
Yeah.
I picture them working, honestly.
I want that to work.
Yeah. And I can see it working.
Yeah. Or her and Blake, either one.
The best one for me was Rachel's. It says Rachel wants nothing to do with a Where Are They Now montage.
I mean, that's a slow clap for me.
Oh, I am so into that.
I love it.
I feel like she would even laugh at that.
Oh, yeah. Great. Beautiful.
Rachel.
Bravo.
Redemption
Brava.
Rachel. Turns out Aaron S. and Braden were in a boat accident together.
It was news. It made the real news.
Really?
Like, even if they were not Bachelor people, it would have been on the news. It was a big deal. They tread water for like many hours in the middle of the ocean. They came within an inch of dying.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I read this news and they, as an aside in the story, they were like, oh, and he was also on the Bachelor thing. But it was a story, like a real news story.
Wait, so what happened?
their boat like capsized in like some rough water or something. Their fishing boat or something happened,
Just
and they
like
were just
San Diego?
off San Diego. They were well off the coast,
Okay.
and they could not swim to shore, and they were just treading water. They would have died if someone didn't come to rescue them.
Did someone come?
I didn't, you know what, honestly, I don't know all the details, but clearly someone rescued them. I don't think if they had swam 19 miles to shore, you would have read about that in the top story of the news. But yes, they were rescued.
Okay, turns out Braden is now dating Christina Mandrell.
That works. That makes sense.
I'm so okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I can totally picture that working.
Yeah.
Eliza and AB, meanwhile, hit speed bumps and apparently are trying to figure things out. This bums me out, but I can't say I'm super surprised.
I'm not surprised. It bums me out, but honestly,
I wish them the best.
Better end it sooner than later.
100%. It's really a reminder that the substance comes first.
Relationships need substance.
The love, all of the love, the fluff, all the endorphins that come from falling in love and being in love. What good is that if you don't at the heart have something to fall back on, which is just being able to talk about nothing together?
You know what I think? I actually think that some people, and I don't think you can learn how to fall in love correctly. I don't think that's a possibility. Maybe it is, but I think that some people's endorphins are triggered incorrectly. Like their endorphins are triggered too strong for certain...
By the L word or by a proposal.
Or by someone's looks or just the way they smile at them, which is fine. Some people can do a whole lifetime of that.
Totally.
I'm not saying that's not possible, but I think that some people's love is triggered by more... mental sapiosexual things.
Yes.
And I think that's the safer bet when you're triggered by that. When someone says something really quirky and weird and you're like, I'm in love with this person.
Yes.
As opposed to when someone, takes their hair tie out and that's probably not a good endorphin squirt.
Yeah, I just didn't want to be too hard on them. I think that they're both young and, part of life is figuring this stuff out.
I mean, he's almost 30. So according to Kylie, he's pretty
One foot in the grave.
Yeah, get that coffin ready.
And finally, Kat and John Henry are solid. They're moving to San Diego together and they're good to go.
They're done.
I can picture that really lasting.
They're done.
Yeah.
I mean, done in a good way.
And that brings us to our credits. Andy, there's a very cute clip of Kat discovering John Henry doesn't know what vitamin C does for skin. He doesn't know what a farmer's market is, what Botox is, what Pilates is, or matcha lattes.
He's like, mocha? Close enough.
I love when she was like, do you know what a retinoid is? And he's like, oh, what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what a retinoid is.
He says it sounds like medication. It kind of...
Pretty much.
It sort of is in a way.
What John Henry offers is not those things. He offers all the other things.
Yes. And just this conversation.
Great.
What a gem of a conversation to close with. And I feel like that represents why they work as a couple.
And I think Kat loves him more that he doesn't know those things.
Yes.
It's almost like she's like, oh, this is great.
Yes.
This is so fresh.
She's
for me.
excited. Every day is like Christmas
And she
morning.
can teach him. She could be like, this is what a farmer's market is. This is what a retinoid is.
Yes.
It's fun.
Yeah. Oh my God. I would be so stoked if I met you and you didn't know all that stuff. I'd be like, well.
Yeah, I'm sure John Henry's psyched. It's like, wow, the farmer's market's more than I ever imagined.
In a way, that season, in a very long-winded manner, was a lesson in what makes some relationships work and others not.
It was really the flower that comes out of the cow pie being this season of Bachelor in Paradise.
Yes, yeah.
And a cow pie being a pile of cow shit, in case anyone was wondering. But it's the flower that blooms because of all, she was horrible and John Henry kind of betrayed Olivia and all this stuff. And in the end, life is messy.
Yes.
No one's perfect. A lot of bad people. Good things happen to bad people. Bad people become good people. Good people are bad people. Bad people
flawed.
And good people are the same people.
Yes.
And in the end, this is what you get. That's life.
Mm-hmm. And they make each other better.
Yes. And they're the best person they can be with each other. And the universe made that happen and blah.
Well, Andy, that's a wrap for this episode. Do you want to do A game? Do you have a winner?
I kind of would share it between Kat's proposal speech at the podium or whatever that is.
Yeah.
And Michael's breakup, I hate to say it, that was that was clean.
Clean.
I hate to be that guy. I honestly give it to Avon. A lot of strong, whatever it is happening. Avon's whole putting his foot down on that proposal, I think was strong too.
I think Avon truly saved their relationship because he prevented the cancer that is resentment from entering that relationship in the real world. If he had proposed and just done what she'd said, that would have put the equilibrium off and put her in too much control, too much power, and he would have been upset. He's, especially if things didn't work out. He prevented the resentment from ever starting.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So Avon, Kat, and Michael.
Okay, good job.
All in their own ways.
Okay, and finally, do we want to do who we would go for? It feels weird at the end to do it.
I've broken up with Jess. We're not right for each other.
Oh, yeah. This environment was just not for Jess. Yeah. Is there someone you would go for?
John Henry?
Me too.
Okay.
For me, it's between John Henry and Avon.
Yeah. I kind of want, wouldn't you want to hang out with John Henry, even if it's non-sexual?
Oh, 100%. Okay, that's the thing. People I'd want to hang out with in real life. Okay, obviously Blake.
Yeah.
And I loved how Avon handled this, but John Henry, I just want to ask him questions.
Yeah. I want to pick his brain.
Yeah.
Maybe do a little underwater activities with him. Normal stuff. Yeah. I'm not getting weird. It's not getting weird.
Okay, I think that's a wrap then, Andy.
Yeah.
Thank you to our Shandies who followed along with us this season. This was a lot of hours.
Heavy season.
Yeah. And if you came around for these and you're like, but wait, I liked Dear Shandy. I want to reiterate something that I said in the Golden Bachelor finale, which is that we think that Q&As would probably be your best bet in terms of regular programming. It is us in the same formation, just talking the two of us.
Blowing smoke.
Yeah. So if you want to stick around, check out Q&As. And yeah, thank you for following along with us. And give your recappers, and I don't mean us, I mean in general, this was a very, very challenging couple of months for anyone in this business.
Yeah, the strike really put us down. The strike
put us down.
Made us, this damn strike made us work so hard. And also thank you for supporting. We wouldn't have been able to do this without you guys.
Yeah.
This would have been a lot to do without anyone listening.
We would not have lasted.
No. So you guys are great. We love all of you, even the ones that are not nice.
If you enjoyed what you heard today, you know what we will ask of you, and that is to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram, and
TikTok,
leave us Apple and
Spotify, and specifically Apple iTunes reviews. If you like the season, that would be nice.
Oh yes, the reviews, they really make a big difference for us, actually. Truly, one of the best ways you can help us is to leave us Apple Podcast reviews. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Dear Shandy. Bye-bye.